Are you comfortable saying that they're a Super Bowl contending team, having proven nothing? Are you comfortable saying that? How many teams have you ever seen where they come from nowhere and all of a sudden they're Super Bowl contenders? Hour 2 National Football Show. It's your boy Big Sills. Please hit the like button. We appreciate everybody coming aboard. By the way, we're going to play a game by the numbers. And I'm going to pick some athletes here as we're now 11 days out from the start of the NFL season. And I'm going to tell you where I see these guys potentially in this style of offense landing. You may agree or disagree, okay? Now, I'll say this to you. How many people believe, and let me ask this question again like I asked a couple days ago. How many people think that this Philadelphia Eagle team is a true Super Bowl contending team, unproven? Are you comfortable saying that they're a Super Bowl contending team, having proven nothing? Are you comfortable saying that? How many teams have you ever seen where they come from nowhere and all of a sudden they're Super Bowl contenders? And there's not been an establishment of how they've gotten better. And they've really kind of climbed the ranks of beating the established teams. The Kansas City Chiefs had to beat the Patriots and Brady to win the Super Bowl. They had to beat New England for people to take them serious. They had to beat that team. Stafford last year and the Rams, they had to beat Brady and the Buccaneers. They had to win those games for people to take you serious. Okay? We are sitting here today on August 31, loving the talent. And by the way, this is not a pessimistic take. It's more of a conversation here where I'm having with you here going, are we getting ahead of our skis a little bit here? Okay? Please hit the like button. I appreciate everybody coming in. 2017 was a surprise. Yeah, but if you remember right, when we had Merrill Reese on, Merrill said after that 9-game win streak, though, in the middle of the year, everyone started doing what? Wow, there's something here. There's something here. Michael says they have the potential, they have not done it. And I've told you what potential is. It's code for haven't proven anything yet. Got to play the games. Hey, watch this. So you guys know, do I feel comfortable going into the 2022 season saying that this team should make it to the NFC title game and they're the deepest team? And by the way, you notice how I phrased that last hour with Chris Landry? I didn't say they were the best roster in the NFC. I said they were the deepest. And he kind of didn't hear that, and that's why I wanted to reiterate it. I never said they're the best, but I said they're the deepest, which means this. Deepest and best. What would you rather have in an 18-game NFL season? I might want the deepest because that means you can withstand catastrophic injuries on your football team. Some teams out there, you lose. Dude, watch this. If the Rams lose Aaron Donald or Jalen Ramsey, I think that team's in trouble. If the Eagles lose, God forbid, Darius Slay, put CJ out there. It's not going to be that far of a fall because you're deep. That's my point with the Eagles. See, I think the Eagles can beat you with Howie's roster. And I'm going to make another topic here in a second. And I don't want anybody to get their panties in a bind when I do this, too. I'm just going to ask a question here, okay? It's no indictment here on August 31st, so don't get crazy when I do it. But I think this roster can beat more talented rosters, not at the beginning of the year. I think you're going to wear teams out like you did in 17. That's an attitude you have to have here. Do you have the most talented wide receiver group in the league? No. You think you're really better than the Buccaneers with Brady? Or you think you're better with what you're saying? Hell, even Minnesota has better wideouts. Okay? They have better wideouts. More. How about this? I'll take it back. Minnesota has more productive wideouts. More production. There's more production in Minnesota than there's ever been in Philadelphia. Like ever. It's a fact. Justin Jefferson, is killing it. Thielen's good. The tight end, KJ Osborne, is good. The running back, Dalvin Cook, can catch the ball, and he's the 1,300-yard back. Okay? That's an offense. And they had the least amount of interceptions last year. They can move the chains. And you think you're beating Green Bay with Jalen Hurts. Well, Michael, how about this? Garoppolo beat him. Jimmy G beat him. Jameis Winston, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Jameis Winston last year in week 1 beat him? Right? Those guys, I wouldn't consider those dudes elite. They beat Aaron Rodgers last year. How you figure Minnesota has a better wideouts? Dude, A.J. Brown is not in the room of Justin Jefferson, stats-wise. He's got 200 catches in 2 years. 3,000 yards in 2 years, Hawk. A.J. Brown's never had over 70 catches. Over 1,100 yards in his entire 3 years in Tennessee. He's not better than Jefferson. And Thielen has put up the same numbers that Devontae's put up. The back is better, and the quarterback's better. How about this? I'll take it back. The quarterback is more productive. We have 2 number ones. Prove it. Again, potentially you're talking name. See, this is all potential talk. Minnesota has put up numbers. They've put up numbers. Justin Jefferson's put up numbers. Okay? Dude, even Xander's like, come on, guys. Don't be blind. And by the way, I want to make sure that I roll it back so you know what I think of AJ. I think AJ Brown's a top 10 wide receiver. I said it here. Hey, Jefferson. Jefferson, by the end of the season, will be the best quarterback in the or the best wide receiver in the National Football League. I have no doubt about that. Unless he gets hurt, Justin Jefferson's going to go for 115, 120, and 1,600 yards this year. You don't have a guy on your team near that. Not close. The guy, you'll maybe get a guy with 1,200 yards this year. Maybe. Philly, yes. Yes. Philly D, absolutely. I agree with that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great take. Great take. Absolutely phenomenal take. Playing in domes does help statistics. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I am a firm believer in that myself. Philly D, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Completely agree with that take. Philiopolis says Howie Roseman is top 3 and not 3. How's that 2020 draft looking? What do you think about that 2020 draft? 3 years removed. I took a look at it today. That's usually when you get an evaluation on a particular draft. What do you make of that 2020 draft? Jalen Hurts is in that, by the way. 2020 Eagles NFL draft. Let's take a look at that. Since Rager's now been moved, Jalen Reagor, number 21, no longer with the team. Jalen Hurts, second round, still incomplete. Davion Taylor, Kayvon Wallace, Jack Driscoll, who I like, John Hightower, Sean Bradley, Quez Watkins in the 6th. That's a good pick. If I were redrafting Quez, I'd say Quez is probably a third-round draft choice. I'd say you could put Quez in the 3rd. So they got a steal there at 6. See how I am here? I'm not dissing on it yet. The rest of these guys are nobodies. But I would say this to you, that 2020 draft, C. Last 2 years have been good. Yes, sir. Okay? What about putting together a Super Bowl winning roster? Absolutely. We're also talking about drafting too, though, right? Okay, you just lost a first-round pick for a 7th rounder. Okay, I know. Watch this. You notice how he did it, too. He made sure he traded Jalen Reagor after he solidified the roster and put him on the active roster. He probably could have made this deal with Minnesota 4 days ago. But he did it after the fact, where everyone's giving him kudos for building this roster. Rightfully so. I said it yesterday, too. No question about it. He's pretty smart, though, how he puts these little landing pads out there, though, so that some of the mistakes that he makes aren't as glaring. Watch this. Do you love the Super Bowl roster he's built more than losing Jalen Reagor for a 7th rounder? Absolutely. You still in the back of your mind remember it, but it's not quite as significant. It's not as significant because you know why? I'd rather have the roster too. I'm with you. I'm talking here. We're having a conversation. But the Reagor move now gets put in the wash. Because he goes like this. Look, I got the starting guy from the Saints. With the move that I made with J-Jaw going to Seattle and Tennessee. It's pretty impressive. I said it yesterday, and it's even more so today. Okay? Philiopolis, I think being a good general manager, I don't think Howie Roseman's a very good talent evaluator. I think he is learning how to put good people around him. When you see people like Joe Douglas and Andrew Berry getting jobs, and you see people like White Elf coming from the Eagle organization too, and going up and being an assistant now to the general manager in Pittsburgh, that's a testament to Howie. That he is listening to his people in the building, which is awesome. That's a GM. That's a general manager. A general manager, a true general manager, is organizing it all, putting it all together, and making it happen. His forte is capology. And it's played out with this roster he's built. Dude, unless you guys are depth, I said it's the best. I'll take it back. It's the deepest roster in the NFC. Unless some of you don't listen. I know Michael J. Jaw got cut. That's the beauty of it. Okay? Well, Philiopolis, you can say he's top 3. I think he's in the top 5. I think what the guy does, Les Snead, in Los Angeles, I think it's unbelievable. Mickey Loomis has a Super Bowl too. There's a boatload of talent. And the Eagles like doing business with the Saints. John Robertson in Tennessee's a hell of a general manager. Okay, I mean, there's a lot of good GMs. Steelers are notoriously great at evaluating talent and developing it, especially the wideout position, a position that the Eagles fail at. But again, yes, a lot of people end up making mistakes. It's not just isolated. Jalen Reagor is not an isolated miss by a GM in Philly. How about this? Look at Steve Keim. So he drafts Josh Rosen in the first round out of UCLA. He's got to go to Michael Bidwell, and he's got to tell him, hey, I effed up. Let's go get Kyler Murray next year. And he's got to go in there eating crow to the owner who gave that guy, Josh Rosen, a boatload of signing bonus money. And he's got to go in there with his hat in his hand going, hey, I messed this up. I would rather miss up on a wide receiver like Jalen Reagor than have to go to my owner and go, hey, I effed up on the quarterback big time. And then have to tell the owner, hey, we're going to have to do it again this year. Hey, I give him the onions that he had to go in there and do that. And I give also Arizona the onions for drafting a quarterback in the next year. Okay? It's not the best. LA Rams, it's not the best roster. It's the deepest roster. Manser, Howie's had bad drafts. A lot of teams have had bad drafts. Last two have been good. Les Snead is a hell of a coordinating general manager. They had to move off of Jeff Fisher. He sucked. How Jeff Fisher kept that Rams job blows my mind. You know, Fronier loved him. She loved him, Jeff Fisher. When that thing went to Stan Kroenke, the writing was on the wall. He was out. Look at what he did to Jared Goff even. I mean, Sean McVay goes into Los Angeles, turns that guy into an NFC champion. I mean, right? Sean McVay is a hell of a play calling. He is a hell of a play calling head coach. He's right there with Andy Reid, man. And here's the difference, though. This kid's 36 years old, and he's won 2 NFC titles in a Super Bowl by the age of 36. That's the kind of shit that, like, John Madden did at that young age. He's 36. Man, is he a good head coach? I've known Sean McVay since he was 10 years old. It's amazing on how good he is. Unbelievable. I'm going to throw this topic at you here. And let me throw this at you here. Let me get this topic here. Now, I don't want anybody to go crazy on this topic. Okay? Let me ask you this. Do you think the Eagles have enough talent? I tweeted this out. Do you think the Eagles have enough talent on the roster to win a Super Bowl in spite of an average quarterback? Do you have enough talent? Do you believe you have enough talent? GT says yes. Let's and GT, I'm not saying that Jalen's going to get worse. I'm saying he's going to get marginally better this year. And like I said, we're going to play the game by the numbers here in a bit. And I think he is going to improve. I do. I don't think he's going to be what people think, but I do think he's going to. Is there enough talent on the team to carry them to an NFC title game? And by the end of the year, with the deepest roster in the league, my opinion. Not even Chris Landry wanted to agree with me. That's okay. They won with Nick Foles. I'm starting to believe that Howie looks at the quarterback position now. Do you think he thinks it's a priority to win? Having won with Foles, but knows if you have a roster, that can get you there. And who knows if you get there. Nobody on the right mind thought Nick Foles was going to outplay the greatest player in the history of the league. Nobody. But because of the depth of the roster, O-line, D-line, I told you this before. I think the Eagles, in my opinion, I think the Philadelphia Eagles, if you go back and you take a look at that 2017 team, best combination of O-line, D-line I've seen since the Steelers of the 70s. It was the best combination. Deep, strong, tough, knock your ass into the ground. Fletcher was in his prime. The whole deal, man. That team beat up the New England Patriots to a point where there was white flags being raised. You don't have to have a great quarterback. Awesome game. Yeah, Brady just happened to be great, mentally average talent. Teams win Super Bowls, not the quarterback. Really. So you think if you have a mediocre quarterback, that's as a majority of the time, you think average quarterbacks win Super Bowls. And I know because you've been blinded with Foles. Let's take a look at that. Oh, well, Stafford's not average. Stafford, Brady, right? Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre. Go down the list. Ben Roethlisberger, Eli. Over the last 20 years, you really think consistently you win Super Bowls with average quarterbacks? There's the Joe Flacco's of the world and the Nick Foleses, yes, but you're not going to be winning Super Bowls on a continual basis with Nick Foles. And the Eagles knew that. That's why they dumped him. They knew that. But, Jeff, you can say whatever you want about Eli, and believe me, I've never been an Eli guy. Eli's one of the hottest. Drew Brees, too. I mean, right? Eli Manning, to me, he's one of the hottest quarterbacks you can ever face in a postseason. When that guy gets on a streak, it's unreal. This guy, in my opinion, if you really want to look at it, who would you take in the postseason? Peyton Manning or Eli Manning? I don't know. Peyton's numbers are dramatically lesser in the postseason than they are in the postseason. Now, I'll say this to you. Eli didn't have to play against Tom Brady in the postseason. It's like Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson. Hey, Phil just happened to be in the era of Tiger Woods, right? I mean, sometimes if you're Karl Malone and, you know, you're Clyde Drexler, you're just in the era of Jordan. It's what it is, right? No coaches can scheme dudes open, but if Hurts doesn't hit them consistently and on time, it won't matter. Foles didn't outplay Brady. He threw for 505 yards. I don't know, man. He kept them drives going. And to me, you know, Tom Brady throws for 505 yards. Isn't it, though, my eyeball test that Foles outplayed him? I don't know. Okay, so he wins the statistic war. To me, whenever I think of that Super Bowl, that 2017 championship team, I always do this. Foles outplayed him. I don't know. My eyeball test goes, Foles played better in that game than Brady did. Yeah, but Brady threw for 500 yards. Yeah, well, it never really looked that way to me. It always looked to me that Foles was outplaying him. I don't know. You're right. You have everything on your side with the stats, but I come away from that Super Bowl going, I don't know, man. I thought Foles outplayed him. I just thought Foles outplayed him. It just looked different to me. You know, and you're right. He threw for 500 yards. He had everything going. You know, the media was every time I think of that Super Bowl, I always go like this. I don't know, man. Foles looked like, to me, he outplayed Tom Brady in that. It was just different, you know? And you're right, dude. You're right. He has all the stats. Bill got Outcoached. Brady was the best player. Okay? Eli kicked Brady's ass in the Super Bowl. Dude, twice. Hey, Joseph, you mean twice. not once. Right? Not once. Twice. So you believe this team is good? Here, can I tell you this? I do too. Probably shocked you when I said this. I think the Eagles, with Jalen Hurts getting better, 5%, 1%, 2%, is going to be good enough to get to the NFC title game. I said it in the first hour, and I'll say it again to you. It's all going to come down to Miles Sanders' health. They don't have a running back there that can help him. It'll look like last year's team. It'll look like last year's team. Jalen Hurts won't finish the year. You can't have that kid go into another season being the focal point in the running game. There's not an elite quarterback that's playing this year that is the focal point of the running attack, except in two places, Baltimore and in Philadelphia. And Baltimore's not a Super Bowl favorite because they're in the AFC. They're not beating Joe Burrow like that. They're not beating Patrick Mahomes like that, even though I do think Kansas City walks back a bit. Okay? And I do think also the Eagles are they're in a place right now where the quarterback doesn't have to be elite to get them to the NFC title game. Like, Dak's going to put up better numbers than Jalen. But if Jalen plays this right and everybody plays up to their capability this year, Jalen will get to the NFC title game. The Cowboys won't even make the playoffs. I don't believe the Cowboys make the playoffs. I have everybody telling me that Dallas is formidable this year. Where do you see that? Where do you see Dallas is formidable? Now, I will say this. I wrote a stat down here about the Cowboys and the Eagles here. Where is that stat? The Eagles have not swept the Cowboys in 11 years. And the Cowboys have beaten you 7 of the last 10 times at Lincoln Financial. Your whole season revolves around Dallas. If Jalen can carry his team to beating Dallas, you have to beat the Cowboys, at least split. If you don't, you won't win the division. Okay? You won't. Dallas has players too. I think they're overhyped and overrated. Somebody asked me, what do I think of Dak Prescott? Top 15? I think he has empty calorie stats. Someone asked me about CeeDee Lamb. I don't know. CeeDee Lamb or Devontae Smith? I don't know. Seemed like a push to me. AJ kind of offsets that. They got a better crew than Dallas does. Their tight end's better than Dallas. And get this. You want to hear something else? Miles Sanders versus Ezekiel Elliott. Who do you have? I'll take Miles Sanders. Miles' problem is obviously staying out of the tub. Right? You got to beat Dallas. This all comes down to the Cowboys. I'm going to play by the numbers here. And I've circled some players by the numbers. What are we now? 11 days out from the start of the season. You may agree or you may disagree, but I'm going to show you by the numbers. And we're going to do this together here. And we're going to put this down on paper and see how this thing plays itself out. We're going to start writing some receipts here. All right. Hey, don't forget, my friends, at Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free, meaning this, if you're hurt or injured on the job, understand, my friends, that for the people is not a slogan. It is, again, one thing that you'll understand. They're in this to make sure that you get your fair compensation for you and your family. And they've been doing it for 30 years. That's who Morgan & Morgan is. You give them a call at 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. Over 800 attorneys strong. In offices in Philly, New York, and in Florida, make them the biggest attorney firm in the country. Call them again at 800-512-1600. It's 800-512-1600. And when you call Morgan & Morgan, do me a favor. Tell them Dan Sileo sent you.
After a car crash, the big insurance companies you see advertising on TV, they may try to downplay your case and might say it's only a fender bender or it's just a herniated disc. I worry that some law firms fall for this BS. Not us. We put ourselves in your shoes and ask, what would it be like to be in your pain for the rest of our lives? $1 million wouldn't be enough for me. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.